In fact, now it's all coming back to me. If you guys were doing a specific one research project, we would have to sign it up as a research project. But if you're collecting tissue for multiple research projects, not just one, then it falls into the tissue donation area. It's complicated. The paperwork is a nightmare.
While under investigation, Planned Parenthood repeatedly told Congress that its Houston, Texas affiliate, Planned Parenthood Gulf Coast, never had a fetal tissue program in the previous 5 years. They claimed they only transferred placenta tissue to University of Texas Medical Branch, and so the federal law against selling fetal tissue didn't apply to them. Planned Parenthood Gulf Coast repeated this claim numerous times to the media and to the federal courts in Texas. First of all, the placenta is one of the fetus's organs. It's grown by the fetus with the fetus's own DNA, and you have to abort the fetus in order to get a first or second trimester placenta for sale. So all the same legislative intent and legal purpose of the federal law still apply. But moreover, by trying to say they only sold aborted placentas at Planned Parenthood Gulf Coast, Planned Parenthood flagrantly lied again about the facts on the ground. Watch what Melissa Farrell, Vice President for Research at Planned Parenthood Gulf Coast, testified under oath about her affiliate's fetal tissue sales. First, for background, she described how things worked when Planned Parenthood Gulf Coast historically supplied to Amphioxus Cell Technologies, a Baylor College of Medicine-linked stem cell company.
What products or specimens was Planned Parenthood Gulf Coast providing Amphioxus as part of that study?
Fetal tissue.
So you had said fetal tissue. I guess I'm asking, what particular parts of the fetus or of the fetal tissue would they collect?
They collected the products of conception in its entirety in a specimen container.
Products of conception is abortion industry lingo for everything removed during the abortion. It includes the fetus, the placenta, the umbilical cord, and the amniotic sac. So the products of conception in its entirety means everything removed in the abortion, including the developing baby. So then we asked Melissa Farrell if the same was true of the more recent sales to UTMB. She testified that her affiliate sold the entire fetus to UTMB, not just the placenta.
What specimens were conveyed to UTMB from Planned Parenthood Gulf Coast, Planned Parenthood Center for Choice?
Objection calls for speculation, vague, assumes facts not in evidence, and lacks foundation.
I'll help you. I think I understand what you're asking. The products of conception were what was needed in order to isolate, to be able to focus on the placenta for the analysis.
Okay. What specimens are then conveyed to UTMB under the contract?
Objection vague.
Products of conception.
Okay. And in what, which products of conception?
Objection vague.
And if I may, was it well, the idea is, because so for instance, was it the entire products of conception from the abortion procedure?
That is my understanding, yes.
Okay.
If they lied to Congress, the courts, the media, and the public about Planned Parenthood Gulf Coast's fetal tissue research program, what else about fetal tissue research programs has Planned Parenthood been trying to cover up? It became clear during these depositions that focusing on the wholesaler companies Planned Parenthood partnered with, like STEM Express, ABR, Novogenics, and Da Vinci, only told part of the extent of Planned Parenthood's involvement in fetal trafficking.
How long did PPPSW have a relationship with ABR, or does it continue to today?
It continues.
Okay. Has PPPSW had any other relationships with researchers to procure fetal tissue?
Yes.
Okay. And which, and then I'll ask just one more question. Has PPPSW had any relationships with research institutions in relation to procurement of fetal tissue?
Yes.
Okay.
Some affiliates like Planned Parenthood Pacific Southwest have clearly supplied fetal tissue to multiple customers at the same time, not just to one wholesaler company like ABR, as part of the Planned Parenthood Clinical Research Network. How many of the other Planned Parenthood affiliates did the same thing? Other Planned Parenthood officials were noticeably uncomfortable acknowledging the research program's supply of fetal tissue.
Did any other researchers go to PPLA to collect specimens?
Not as far as I am aware.
And I should want to ask more broadly.
Can I just, let me,
sure.
I'd like to amend that to say there is a difference between tissue collection for a big organization that they collect the tissue procurement organization and a specific research project. Now, we may in fact have been involved in specific research projects, but that's a whole different category from fetal tissue donation.
Okay. At PPLA, who would have worked with the researchers to set up their research project?
Myself.
Okay. Just to be clear, there's a research department at PPFA.
Yes.
Okay, and each research project being considered at PPLA had to be approved by the PPFA research department.
Objection vague.
Correct.
Okay. What records would have been kept of the research projects that were approved at PPLA?
I certainly kept records, but I no longer have them.
Okay. And so PPLA would have those records potentially?
Objection lacks foundation, calls for speculation.
I can't answer for what PPLA did with my files.
And just so that I'm clear, those research projects may have included projects that involved fetal tissue in some way.
Objection, that misstates testimony.
I cannot remember.
So when it comes to trafficking fetal organs and tissues from abortions, between donation programs versus research projects, disguising the fetus as just the placenta, inventing and disappearing whole categories of information at will, Planned Parenthood clearly has a lot to hide and will go to great lengths to do so. Planned Parenthood and their business partners admitted a lot when we put them under oath in these depositions, but it's also clear that there is a lot that they are still hiding. If this is what a citizen journalist with a few pro bono lawyers was able to uncover, what would happen if the FBI and the Department of Justice did a full criminal investigation, complete with search warrants and grand jury subpoenas? Demand justice for fetal trafficking crimes now.